Hello and welcome back to another Space Engineers showcase video. In today's video, we're looking at a luxury exploration vessel called the EV-1 Cardova, which is this thing right here. So this ship is fit for survival mode, but you cannot spawn it in normally because it does feature subgrid. So pressing F10 and finding it in the spawn menu, there it is. This thing is 12,943 small blocks, using the decorative block number 2 DLC pack. It uses no mods, but it does have a few scripts here and there, which we'll look at when we go inside. So coming around to the front, let's start by having a quick look around the outside. At the very front here we can see our bridge, where inside we can see our small block control seats and some great use of the transparent LCD screens. As we move around the side we can see some great block work using the light grey and dark grey clean blocks. Then moving towards the side, we've got a window that peers into the bridge once again, and the first of many thrusters on this ship. So this is our atmospheric thrusters, so we've got some large ones for forwards and backwards, and some small ones on the side. As we continue along, some more large atmospheric thrusters. We can then see inside the ship some gyroscopes, some more LCD screens, some nice open areas, which does look fantastic when we're on the inside. Then continuing along, we come to our hydrogen thrusters, which is how we're going to fly this thing around in space. So here's the front look at our first pod, just two large hydrogen thrusters, and then moving all the way around over to here, we then got some smaller hydrogen thrusters to help on our left and our right. And then at the very back of this part, we got some O2H2 generators to make sure this is continuously making hydrogen to keep us in the air. Dropping down just below there, we can see another little area where we can go inside. Some more hydrogen thrusters there to help us lift off, and just below that we got some wheels, some landing gear to make sure we have a nice soft landing. Got a connector there just in case we need to recharge ourselves. We can just peer inside at some chairs, some cargo containers and whatnot. And if I was to come all the way around to the very back, we'll then be able to see our main thrust, which is going to be some large hydrogen thrusters, and there we go, one hell of a lot to push us around. At the very bottom there, we've got a small ramp for us to hop up and press that button. Pressing that button will then open this up and allow us to step inside to a makeshift airlock. We've got some more buttons that can then be pressed to open this up and go inside, but I'll come back to that a bit later. Going up and above this ship, we've got some turrets at the very back there for some defense, and we can see 3 parachute hatches just in case we need it when doing an emergency landing. A solar panel there for some renewable power, and then a small antenna, another parachute hatch, another connector. Then moving towards the front, some lovely glass blocks for us to peer inside at what's going on and to get a great view outside when we're on the inside. Then towards the front, not too much to talk about, just some more parachute hatches. Dropping down and coming underneath this thing, we've got another gun there for protection, and then we can continue all the way along over to here. So right next to all of our atmospheric thrusters, we have a elevator. The elevator is simply held on by a merge block, and when we press one of the buttons inside or that button over there, it will pull itself all the way down and allow you to hop in and out. Continuing along past that button, past spotlight, we then have our front landing gear, which is simply some landing gear with some wheels right next to it to make it more cushiony when you land. And then moving further along, not too much else to talk about, there's some more wheels there and some nice block work. And there's the very back, more wheels, more landing gear, and there's our ramp at the very back. So that's a quick look around the outside for the EV-1 Cardova. It looks bloody fantastic with the way it's all been set up, and it becomes even more impressive when we go inside. So taking control of my character and hopping all the way down, we have a few ways where we can go in. So just to show you, this is the elevator. We can just press that button and the merge block disconnects, and the elevator just comes all the way down to the ground to allow you to hop up and maybe get a very, very tiny vehicle in here. And there's another button that we can press that'll just take us up into the body of the ship. So moving all the way around to the back, we'll start from here, and we'll work our way all the way up to the bridge. So over here, we can press this button, and it will raise up our airlock. Then hopping inside, like so, we can then press this button to close it all up. Wait for that all to close. There we go. Then we can press that to open it up and head on inside the ship. So stepping inside and turning around, we've got another button there to close this all up, and we can see some batteries there just for some power. We have a basic refinery, front and center, so we can just shove some resources in there if we needed to, and a button right next to it to turn it on and off. Anyway, moving around the side, let me just start walking through here. Got some nice view outside of those windows, and behind there we can see the sides of the refinery. Then got a cargo container to dump stuff in. Then we see the back of a assembler, which has the same setup, a button to turn it on and off, which also affects the light in front of it. Then moving all the way around to here, we can see that connector sitting right there on the opposite side, and we've got this same setup. It's very, very nice. Then we can come across to the front, where on the opposite side and this side, we've got a seat slightly raised off the ground, so your passengers have somewhere to sit. We then have a little control panel right there, which is nothing specific, it's just to access some of the stuff in the ship, if you needed to. Then we can walk up these very fancy steps with some nice use of the LCD screens there. I thought they were interior lights, but they're not. Let's continue up, and we can see some more batteries. We then have a clock there displaying the time, then got a programmable block, which is just displaying the gravity and the planet's gravity, and on the opposite side, we got some buttons. Now this is where the script comes in, which I talked about earlier, where we can press one button to move this all the way down, and then if we don't want something on, we can simply press that button on that side, and we can switch it off remotely from this little bit over here, rather than going into the control panel and trying to turn it off manually. If we want the beacon on, switch that on. If we don't want the gravity generator on, we can do that, but I want that on for the moment, and we can also turn off the beacon to get rather annoying. So turning around, this is what we get. We get a very nice little area for us to roam around in. We've got a large cargo container sitting on the left hand side, and on the right, got a survival kit to recharge ourselves on, and a button to switch it on and off. Over here we then have another access point to control stuff on the ship, and we can see the top of our refinery. Moving around on the right hand side, we then got some air vents, and we've got some cryopods for us to hop into for a quick recharge. Towards the back, we then can see an O2H2 generator with some lights, another access point, and around to here, we can see the tops of our... That's the refinery, the assembler was on the opposite side. I always get those blocks mixed up. But looking up there, we can see a hydrogen tank, which we can access if we wanted to, and behind us, a beacon with a button to turn it on and off. Now for the opposite side, we then got another programmable block, which is just displaying our hydrogen and power usage, another O2H2 generator. You can then see some small hydrogen tanks right there, and some hydrogen engines, and this has been labelled the backup hydrogen power generator, where we can press it, and it will turn the lights on, and turn those engines on, and provide us with some more power. Continuing along, we then got some reactors, which we can press to turn on and off, but they don't have uranium in there, because I am in survival mode, and didn't put any in. So there's that. We then turn that off if we wanted to. We can see another O2H2 generator right there. And it's very nice. I absolutely love this setup. The lights glowing whenever you click the button. Anyway, continuing along, we come past back to our large cargo container. And it's time for us to head on up. So up these stairs, once again with our LCD screens on the side there. We then come up to this part right here, where we can see our ramp that we saw earlier. I mean, elevator we saw earlier. So just coming up to here, press the button. We can now go and head on outside. It's quite a slow elevator, which is pretty good. You know it's not going to spontaneously explode at any point. And then all the way up, it is a bit wobbly when it hits the ground, but it should be fine. The only other problem is connecting up that merge block. It is a little dodgy. Oof. There we go. And now we're safe. Yeah, it's just having a quick look around. We've got some windows here to view outside. And coming all the way back past the stairs we came up in. The gravity generator right here with another button to switch it on and off. Another large cargo container to access stuff. Another survival kit to recharge on with a button to turn it on and off. And some more air vents. Some more hydrogen tanks right there. An oxygen tank. Even more hydrogen tanks. And another programmable block showing us our hydrogen and power. On the opposite side, the exact same setup. Air vents, tanks, oxygen tanks, even more tanks, and another programmable block showing us our power and hydrogen. So looking up, there's our glass. We see how the conveyor goes all the way to the front, to the back. Looks bloody fantastic. I am very impressed with this ship. So we come past our elevator, some more windows, good use of an LCD screen, static screen. There's a bunch of gyroscopes. If I come all the way around to the opposite side, like so, another LCD screen, even more gyroscopes, another window to look out, and moving all the way to the front, this is our bridge, where we've got some seats in there which don't have anything on them, so there's not much we can do with this ship. It's largely passive, or you have to wander around the ship and activate things yourself, but you can always slide stuff onto the hotbar if you wanted manual control over them from this seat. But anyway, we've got buttons around the side which control the lights, and another one which also controls the lights. A few more seats with nothing much going on. We've got an LCD screen over there telling us our time, power, and the horizon, same as that seat, and almost the same as this seat. Yes, we get a bloody good view all the way around us, and it does look great. So one last place to go is down here into the heart of the ship. We can see another hydrogen tank right there, another access point, and a ladder going down. So in here, we've got some timer blocks, which is going to be for our elevator and all that. We've got some more hydrogen tanks, and we've got some more gyroscopes, which are all being encased in glass, some batteries on this side, some more batteries there, another large battery, behind us another large battery, even more gyroscopes, and there we go, that's the back of the ladder. So it's a nice little cubby hole really, if you wanted to hide from some oncoming enemies, but they will eventually get to you. Anyway, enough of that, let's head into our pilot seat. It's time to take off. Lifting off from the ground, we've got a nice lot of speed with that, and we can see there we've got 10 hours of power just sitting still. When we move around, we can drop down to around about 30 minutes there. So there we go, and our hydrogen, we've got a nice lot in there, which will tick down very, very slowly. We've got plenty of tanks in here, so it's all been well thought out. And we've got plenty of O2H2 generators as well, to make sure we're never really going to run out of stuff. Let's go forward, shall we? So going forwards, this is the speed that we're getting. We've got a nice lot of large hydrogen thrusters there to allow us to boost around this planet at some great speed, great acceleration, great speed, and very good control. Stopping, we are much slower than going forwards, so you may need to make sure there is plenty of room between you and your target destination to make sure you can stop in time. And then there we go, going left, we're pretty fast. And then going right, again, pretty fast for such a large ship. Going down is quite slow, and then going up, we're very, very fast. A good balance of thrusters all the way around. And then moving my mouse around, we have a lot of weight on this. You might want to shove on a few more gyroscopes, because sometimes when you're not moving at all, the ship will not turn no matter how much you move your mouse around. But when you start moving, we do gain a nice bit of control, which does suit the size of the ship. So that is basically it. There's not too much else to talk about. It's got some defense on there. It's got plenty of what you need to survive in a survival world, and will last you for a very long time. The only thing I didn't see on here, which may or may not be in there, nope, there is no jump drive. So if you wanted to go for a nice long jump, maybe even use this for some hauling contract, you will need to have a jump drive attachment and perhaps clip it onto that connector right there. So that is it for the EV-1 Cardova, a bloody glorious ship with a fantastic interior and everything you need to survive in survival mode. Once again, you cannot spawn this in from a blueprint because it does use subgrids, so you would need to forcefully spawn this in with creative tools like I have done for this video. So it'll be in the description below if you wish to download and play around with it yourself. And I'll be back with another video some point soon. Bye bye.